Massachusetts, would you like to know a broad overview of Brookline plus some info on home prices? So stick with me and I will be right back. I would say Brookline is the kind of place where you think you're in Boston, but it's a little bit different. The vibe is different, and most people respond to the word "I live in Brookline" with nice place. Look at this map. It's like a huge loaf of bread hugged by Boston. It is right on the northwestern edge of Boston. So the northern part of Brookline melts into Boston, where all of a sudden you're driving down the street, Beacon Street or Commonwealth Ave in the Back Bay, and you go through Kemmer Square, and before you know it, you cross over into Brookline. The large avenues like Commonwealth Ave start more downtown, actually all the way downtown, and end up a few towns away in Newton. If you were driving north to south, or actually it's kind of northeast to southwest, you would pass Boston University and lots of buildings built in the 20s and 30s, about 5-story apartment buildings, brownstones. They're called flats, not all of them, but the brownstones from back to front, and maybe 3 or 4 floors. Each one is a complete apartment or a condominium, and they're separated by firewalls. The craftsmanship of the time, they're built solidly with brick exteriors and hardwoods throughout. As you move south, you can traverse many side streets with beautiful, large, stately homes from Victorian eras, late 1800s, as well as a few ultra-modern new construction, but not many new construction. Brookline has lots of rules that keep its community, its affluent community, the way it is. The 1100 block of Beacon Street is where doctors' offices line the main streets. It's almost called Pediatrician Row. Further south, doctors and lawyers have their homes. So the northeast part of Brookline is more condensed, dense living, more condominiums. There's a section called High Street Hill. It used to be called Pill Hill back in the day because it seemed like only doctors lived there, all big Victorians, and it was within walking distance to many hospitals on the Longwood area, which borders Brookline and is part of Boston. Presently, March 2021, there are homes like these on the market, large homes in South Brookline. Median home prices are in the 900s, single-family homes. Median rent is about $22.50 right now. Pretty equal number of homeowners to renters, which is kind of unusual. Condominiums are the major form of housing in Brookline, and in the last 3 months, there were 154 condos sold. Coolidge Corner has the most active condo market, I think, and I made videos focusing on Coolidge Corner and Chestnut Hill. So if you like this one, I'm going to show you 2 more at the end, and maybe check those out next. I have a quote here from a Brookline resident who says, "Brookline has been a great place to live so far, and I always feel very safe when walking around. There's great access to shops and restaurants and even a little bit of nightlife. But my only complaint is, and I'm sure it's a complaint of many residents, is the overnight parking. There's none. The lack of overnight parking, there's none." True. So if you want to live here, you're going to have to find a parking spot that you can own or rent, or don't have a car. If you want to live in Brookline, you have to like historic and brick. Older looking buildings, both early 20th century, and buildings built in the 60s and the 1980s. They pop up here and there. There's a few in the Longwood, Brookline area. Route 9 is a major road that runs east to west, so You're in Boston, and straight shot through Brookline goes west. In the Fisher Hill area, coming out of Boston, north of Route 9, there are lots of beautiful homes on tree-lined streets. Brookline tends to have a ton of tree-lined streets. It's known as a super affluent neighborhood, Fisher Hill. The south area of Fisher Hill is the Brookline Reservoir. There's also a Chestnut Hill Reservoir further down off of Route 9. Brookline Hills. There you'll find winding streets and many Tudor-style mansions that are referred to as Old Brookline or Old Chestnut Hill. Very good points for Brookline. Great public transportation, great shopping, both neighborhood shopping and malls or centers, modern kind of places. Great public schools as well as private schools. Pretty good nightlife. There are bars and pubs and restaurants, so there's an ample amount of choices. Who lives in Brookline? Besides Tom Brady, of course. Tom Brady has moved, but he's got a big place he's selling. King Gillette, the inventor of the safety razor back in 1895. So that's where Gillette comes from. Saul Bellow, the writer. Michael Dukakis, the former governor of Massachusetts. Many college professors, because there's so many colleges in the area, and also the birthplace of John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy, and most of the Kennedys. Bob Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, lives in Brookline. Conan O'Brien is from Brookline, talk show host. Frederick Law Olmsted designed the Boston Emerald Necklace as well as Central Park in New York City. He lived here. Mike Wallace, the journalist, and Barbara Walters was born in Brookline, Mass. Great. Now, dance with me and watch the videos. Those other videos.